Hey there guys, so Denis Lebedev defeats Mark Flanagan on a unanimous decision. I'm not exactly sure what the scores were because the announcer announced the scores in Russian and I don't speak Russian, but it was a unanimous decision, I know that much, and Denis Lebedev retains his WBA Cruiserweight title. Very, very good performance. I thought it was a good, responsible, technical performance. Lebedev, he was holding the center of the ring with his guard up. He was moving his head, but he wasn't overcommitting. He wasn't really overexerting himself in the ring. He was just boxing. He was being smart. He was working his jab. He was working that left hand to the body. Little counter right hooks here and there. Flanagan, he was very cagey in the fight, and I expected him to be because he was the taller man. He had a very, very hard straight right hand, which I knew that he was going to try and land from distance. And to be fair to him, he was able to land that shot quite a lot in the fight, just particularly in the middle rounds. But the problem was that Denis Lebedev was riding with the punch. Denis Lebedev has a solid chin, so you really have to hit him clean in order to hurt him. And even when that right hand did land, it didn't really have much of an effect. Denis Lebedev is a very, very tough and durable man who can take a punch. So it was a very, very responsible performance from Lebedev. Lebedev scored a knockdown later in the fight. It was in the 9th round. I believe it was around 20 seconds into the round. He surprised Flanagan with a solid straight left to the body. He feinted the jab and just threw that straight left hand in there, and it knocked Flanagan back to the ropes, and he just crumbled to his knees. I mean, it was a really, really devastating shot. Very well placed. One of the best shots that I've seen Lebedev land in terms of it being, so accurate and well placed. He just set the punch up perfectly, and I was quite surprised that he never capitalized on it because he took a lot out of Mark Flanagan with that punch, and I was expecting him to work the body again to try and, if he works the body, he could really win the guy and take him out in the later rounds. But Lebedev, to me, looked content to just box and score himself a well-earned decision. It was a very, very, like I said, a responsible performance. Wasn't really a great fight, wasn't a war, but I enjoyed it. It was a good technical matchup. There were a few illegal tactics here and there from Flanagan. At one point in the fight, he pulled Denis Lebedev down, and after pulling him down, hit him with a low blow. It was an uppercut to the groin, and the referee missed the low blow. However, thankfully, he warned Flanagan for pulling Lebedev down, and he stopped doing it there and then. And that's why I say, here in Europe, well, not so much the UK, but definitely in Eastern Europe, they don't tolerate those kind of tactics. Mark Flanagan wasn't going to get away with the same kind of shit that Jeff Horn got away with and that Andre Ward got away with. That kind of shit isn't going to work in Russia. If you're gonna box in Russia, you got to box within the rules. Otherwise, you're going to get called for it. So yeah, very good performance by the referee too. He kept it clean. There were also a few cuffing shots behind the head from both guys actually, but I think that was just a clash of styles. I think that both with one guy being a southpaw and the other guy being a tall, rangy orthodox who sometimes leans in while he's throwing the right hand. Stuff like that's going to happen. But, for the most part, it was a responsible and a clean performance from both guys. Denis Lebedev, I'm having a look now. He's doing his post-fight interview. I don't know what they're saying. I've not got the sound on. But, Denis Lebedev, I've heard rumours that he may be thinking of retiring. And if he does, then that's good because, obviously, he's had a long career. And a victory against this guy is a good way to end that career. So, good performance. Obviously, you've got the World Boxing Super Series coming up at Cruiserweight, which Denis Lebedev is not taking a part of. But, there are still, if he does want to stick around, there are fights out there, okay? A fight against Krzysztof Glowacki, for example, would be a very, very intriguing fight because I don't think that Glowacki's taking part in the tournament. So maybe a fight between Glowacki and Lebedev in Russia, that would be a really good fight. But, it depends whether or not Lebedev wants to stick around. I mean, I remember years ago when Denis Lebedev fought Enzo Maccarinelli, for example, and that was a great performance. He came over to the UK and he smashed Enzo Maccarinelli in 3 rounds, busted his face up, and I was just like, I'm thinking to myself, that was so long ago, and Lebedev wasn't exactly young then, so yeah, I mean, he's in his late 30s now. I believe he's 37, 38, something like that. I mean, it may be time for him to retire, but that's up to him. Good performance by Denis Lebedev. Congratulations to him. Let me know what you guys think anyway, and thanks for watching.